I think the most fear I was ever in my life was when I arrived back in the country for the first time after I traveled all over the world and lived in Paris, and I'd been in India all these months and traveling all over. I was in Korea with my friend Ken at Ken Beach, and so I traveled everywhere. I mean, I was in some scary situations. I was in Thailand, Bangkok. I got dropped off at a hotel at like 10 o'clock at night, and there was just nobody there. I felt like the trap had sprung, and so I'm in front of this hotel, Sri Holapong Hotel, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, how did I get here? But the most scared I ever was right here in this country. And where do you think that was? Well, it was Port Authority Bus Terminal, New York City. I was scared after traveling everywhere all over the world with a backpack. I mean, you got a backpack, you're a target. And there's always somebody looking to rip you off. I mean, I got ripped off in India. I got things stolen from me on the street in Rome once. Somebody stopped on a motorcycle and did this, and I looked, and they grabbed my chain around my neck, my cross that somebody had given me. And so very, very, it's a dangerous world. We all know that. But here I was. I had spent 2 days living in Heathrow Airport. And then, because you could do that, they just stay in the airport. They didn't care back then. And I had a standby ticket. That meant, if there was a seat, I could get on it, So I was going to be standing there for a long time. So somebody suggested I take the plane to Dallas Airport, Washington, which I did. And then I got on a plane immediately. And then I just jumped on a bus, and it was a couple hours from Dallas Airport to New York City, where I was going to meet my girlfriend, Yoko. She lived up, up in Harlem. She was going to Columbia University, the great Columbia, where every Marxist in the world gets trained at Columbia. At any rate, so I arrived at Port Authority, and now I'd been through New York City once in a car with somebody. We never stopped. So I had never really been to New York City, in the city alone. And so we arrived there. It was about 10:30 at night. And let me tell you something. I got off that bus. It might have been close to 11 o'clock. And it was the scariest place I'd ever seen. So here's the scariest place, not the back alleys of Bangkok, not all the crappy places I stayed in India, all the dubious places I went into there, traveled, again, all over the world alone. And here I am, Hong Kong, there's some dangerous areas in Hong Kong. I didn't feel terribly, really completely safe. And here I am in my own country, and I'm in the most dangerous place I could ever imagine in my life, Port Authority Bus Terminal. Now, later in life, that was 1981. By 1984, I'd moved to New York, and so I traveled in and out of Port Authority Bus Terminal for many years, actually, for about 5 years. So now I knew it really well, and if I go in there now, these days, then there's no problem at all. But, because I know my way around and I know what to expect. But I'd never been there, and I was never so scared in my life. I got on the phone. I called Yoko, and I said, "Can you come and get me?" She's like, "No, you get in that taxi and come." Of course. So I go running out there, and I'm going through Port Authority, and there's just the weirdest looking characters. There's homeless people hanging around. I mean, what an incredibly dangerous, dirty place New York is, especially Port Authority Bus Terminal, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock, whatever it was. It was late. And so anyway, I got downstairs, and I got a cab and went up there. And but that was the most scared that I ever was in my life. Port Authority Bus Terminal, coming back from traveling all over, flying from Heathrow Airport into Dallas, and then arriving there that late. That was scary.